You have lost your first love. This is the message of Jesus to the church at Ephesus. Thanks for joining me. Here in Revelation 2 and 4, he says, you have abandoned the love you had at first. You have left it. You've turned away from it. Now, what this should cause us to do is, there's that song by Andre Crouch, beautiful song decades ago, says, take me back, take me back to when I first found you, when I first believed. Take me back to that time. And let us reflect upon when I first received Jesus, when I was saved, when I was born again at first. Do you remember the joy that you had? Do you remember the zeal you had? Do you remember the fire in your heart, in your soul, the enthusiasm you had for Jesus, the enthusiasm you had to be in the house of God, to have fellowship, the enthusiasm you had to pray, waking up early in the morning and praying, how you would get into worship, how you would open the word and you want to just, absorb everything from the scriptures. You just want to delve into the scriptures, study, read, memorize, get to know the word of God, how you were so excited to see another believer, how every day you told someone else about Jesus, you were talking about your faith and how wonderful God is and so on. And now what's happening? Where are you now? Where are we now today? I believe that instead of growing older and kind of receding, reducing strength, reducing zeal, as we get closer to the end of our lives and the end of time, we should be drawing closer. We should be drawing nearer. We should be increasing in zeal and commitment and enthusiasm and faith for Christ and with the Lord, rather than pulling back, rather than saying, well, I served my time. I used to teach the Sunday school. I used to lead a small group. I used to be in the prayer meeting every so often. But now I'm getting old and I don't need to do that anymore. Now I'm bogged down with work and family. He says, you have abandoned the love you had at first. And I think that is a message that is so pertinent, so relevant to every believer in every church, in every country, at any time, in any century. This sentence here, this verse here, is applicable to every one of us. I have this against you, and we should be checking ourselves against it. You have abandoned. This is something, it didn't just happen. It's not like you lost your first love as a king. It just happened and you didn't recognize this. You actually, in your head, in your mind, in your own will, you have decided, you've made that, I'm not going to do the things I did at first. You have abandoned, you've left it, you've pushed it aside, the love that you had at first. And so may God rekindle the fire and the zeal and the passion and that burning in our hearts, that desire for the Lord and zeal and enthusiasm for the Lord that we had at first. Measure yourself according to that zeal in terms of what you had at first. And may God restore us today.